What's going on, y'all? I'm Wyatt, one half of Divide and Kiki, and let's get into the third episode of season 17 of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Alrighty. I do have to say, I'm enjoying this cast. I really actually am. Genuinely. I feel like we're getting a mix of what made Real Housewives of Atlanta great in its early years. We're getting personal storyline. We're getting real storyline. The drama doesn't really feel contrived. It feels like, little petty drama that might pinball and spin and snowball into something a lot bigger. So I really am enjoying the dynamic between these cast members. So let's get into it. So K Michelle and Portia, they have a sit down because, as we know, K Michelle had some issues with her plastic surgery. She's been having issues for years with the silicone. One of her, I'm not sure like how to describe it, but something split open, and she had to be patched back up. And that needed to be rectified. So she was in the hospital for a few days. The ladies came and visited her, poured into her, all of those things. So as K Michelle leaves the hospital, she links up with, I believe, Portia and I think it was Portia and Phaedra. They sit down to get their nails done. So K Michelle is basically telling everybody what's going on, what the story is, and Portia blurts out, "Oh, did you have a miscarriage?" Mm. In the scene, K Michelle brushed it off, but she was bothered by it later. She went on Twitter tirade and didn't really address it. So we go a few minutes in the episode trying to figure out who this Bimbo K Michelle is talking about on social media. So K Michelle and Portia, they sit down, they have a discussion about the comment being made. Portia says that she didn't mean it the way that K Michelle was taking it. K Michelle takes that as like, fine, okay, it is what it is. Like, yeah, I believe you. I take what you're saying, you know? And the thing is, I don't think Portia had like any ill intent or anything like that. I genuinely feel as though that she probably was just like, being Portia. Because Portia will just say things like she said the thing about Charles last year, and then Portia does just say things sometimes. It's just like, girl, maybe you shouldn't have said that. Bringing up a miscarriage, I know for some women can be very like, it can be very hard. It's just not something that you do. We saw that with Married to Medicine, and how Dr. Jackie brought up Buffy's infertility, and we've been talking about it for now last 10 years now. So there's that. So I understand where K Michelle was coming from. I do think that K needs to learn to keep it off of social media at first, and then go ahead and say what you have to say to said housewife. And then if that interaction is negative, then let's go to social media, and then we can start slinging mud and stuff like that. But I'm glad that Portia and K Michelle were able to sit down, have a discussion, and move forward from that moment, because K Michelle was going in on her on social media for sure. So next we get into Shamia. She is starting a rum business. It doesn't really look like she knows what she's doing, but I do commend her for trying. Her husband, of course, is very business minded, and I feel as though that he probably sees that this probably won't be a venture that makes millions upon millions of dollars. But I like that Shamia is confident in herself, and she's doing something to better herself, and she's doing something for her family. Trying to leave some generational wealth, so I'm happy for her. But I'm here for her rum business. The bottle is apparently going to be shaped like her booty. I do think that that's going to be a very interesting product to run. I feel like a lot of people have, spirit brands now. And I feel as though that a very interesting bottle, just coming from a marketing perspective, I feel like an interesting bottle like that would be something that would be sellable, something that will be extremely marketable, especially with Real Housewives as a platform that can be used to grow said business. So I'm not going to count Shamia out on this one. I genuinely think that Shamia can be successful in this business, but she needs to really lock in, because from her not understanding the logistics of opening up a rum brand, collaborating with people in different countries and stuff like that to make this a reality, I'm not thinking that she really understands what she's undertaking right now, which is why I think that her husband is a little bit more apprehensive of fully supporting. But I want to see where this goes. I am actually interested in seeing it. I'm not gonna lie, Shamia I don't hate Shamia as a housewife. I think she's corny, but it kind of works. She's just a little older now and just a little bit more corny. But her, she'll get a giggle out of me on an episode. She'll get a little laugh out of me, here and there. But, Shamia, I'm still counting on you. I really do think that you're going in a good direction. Angela. So now we have Angela. I'm not understanding Angela and the relationship with her daughter. I did find out, I think her daughter is married to a woman, and I think that that was the point of contention that her and Angela had. Look, I know how these Gen X black people are. Is like there may have been a little bit of getting used to her daughter being married to a woman, so that might be where the contention is coming from. I don't know. But anyway, they go over to see a new real estate property that Angela is going to flip and hopefully make some money off of it. I'm not gonna lie. She said that she lost $2 million last year with the real estate that she lost. I would look. I would have. Angela, you can find another way to make some money. And where's the Angela fans? Where are the Angela fans? As the climate is getting hotter, that is something that the people need. I feel like you need to focus on the fan business. Leave the real estate to the people that know what they're doing, because I don't want to see you lose any more money, sister. I don't want to see you down bad like that. I feel like a lot of the ladies are having money issues this season. And somebody said that they don't like that, but I do need to remind y'all, the girls on Atlanta have always had money issues. Like, Kenya was put out of her house at one point, was living in a hotel. That's where we got a white refrigerator. We saw the mess with Chateau Charay and how long that took to be built. Who else? Portia was having money problems, had to move back in with her mama after her divorce. So this is something that happens on this franchise. This is nothing new. And I feel like a lot of like the critiques that people have of old Real Housewives, I feel like y'all are being like revisionist. Like, not for nothing, financial issues have always been an issue on here. Like, it's nothing new. Like, it's like this is something that has happened on Real Housewives of Atlanta since I think season 1. Like, not for nothing, Kim didn't have no money. That girl was being bankrolled by some multimillionaire named Big Bopper. Like, come on now. Like, we got to be so for real. Like, I know that y'all miss the essence of classic Real Housewives of Atlanta, but come on now. Like, they're doing the same storylines that they were doing 10, 15 years ago. Y'all just, for some reason, don't like the current players. I don't know. And the thing is, the gag is, when they bring back the older players that y'all want to come back so bad, you're going to realize that 10 years have gone by and they're completely different people. They're going to give I'll give a good example. Who Phaedra was 10 years ago is completely different than who Phaedra is now. And if they bring back Kenya, if they bring back Nene, it's not going to be the same. They're going to be playing Housewives like it is in 2026, not like how it was in 2012. You can get the same women all together. It's not going to be the same dynamic. It's not going to be the same vibe. They're all in different places in their lives. So that's just that on that. But anyway, back to Angela. Angela, I'm happy for you. I feel like she's trying to prove something, probably to Charles, that she can actually achieve. But baby, you don't have to keep proving yourself. And I feel like that's a lot of what Angela does. Angela tries to prove herself to people in the room. You don't got to do that. You are Angela Oakley, okay? You are Angela Oakley, all right? Like, you don't have to do that. So, Angela, let's move on from this real estate and let's actually focus on how you are an amazing bone carrier, because somebody brought up the fact that Angela has like been the cause of like 3 different beefs, and Angela always leaves untouched. She was the one that started the Portia Shamia mess, and Angela left untouched in that entire situation. She was the one that brought up the Phaedra situation when it came to Drew. Angela's low-key untouched. Like, I'm not gonna lie, Angela, play that role. Play it well, because we need a bone carrier, and she does it well because she never gets her hands dirty. Angela, let's start leaning into that role a little bit more. Let's leave the real estate on the side, and we'll be all right, okay? Next, we have Pinky, who is also having financial difficulty after she bought back Slutty Vegan. She's having issues with her creditors. I think she was the sole proprietor. She was like the sole guarantor of her business. And so the lawsuits are starting to hit and stuff like that. Very stupid move. I don't know why her lawyers told her to do something like that, but when you're in a pinch, you do what you got to do. So she's going to go and file bankruptcy so that she can, protect assets and things like that. Cool. I do like seeing this vulnerable side of Pinky, of what it really takes to be a business owner. A lot of people show you the glitz and glam of, you just walking through boardrooms and stuff like that. That's not a business owner. That's not how you own a business. Being a business owner is getting down in the dirt and getting, doing what you have to do to keep your business alive. And I think that's what Pinky's doing. I'm going into this season with a clear slate for Pinky just because of the rumors that I've heard before about her just not paying her workers and stuff like that. I'm going into this with a clear mind. I'm going to put that on the back burner. So I do like seeing this side of business ownership that I feel a lot of black people don't see. A lot of black people be like, start your own business, start your own business, start your own business. However, they don't see the flip side when things come crashing down and you're the main one that has to fix it so that you can feed your family, so that you can keep money coming into the house, so you can put food in the fridge. People don't understand that, So I like that this is being shown in this way. I don't agree that Pinky should have kept this from her husband before filing, because just knowing how marriages work, it could mess with his finances. I'm not sure if they file jointly when they're filing their taxes. I imagine they don't, because they both own businesses and stuff like that. So I think that they probably keep their business taxes separate. But I do think that that's a big thing that both people in the house should know before you make a filing, because that can affect him publicly, as he's also a business owner. People can say, well, if this is one household and her money is messed up, how's your money flowing, So that can be something that could come up. So I'm very much so interested in seeing this dynamic. I'm very much so interested in seeing how this works. So, Drew, we finally meet Black. And I'm not going to lie, I'm over this Black situation. I'm over the Black storyline. It's very clear that Drew is in a full sexual relationship with this man, but wants to keep it cute for the cameras because she's still legally married. Girl, if you sleeping with that man, you sleeping with that man. I feel like she was also sleeping with that girl from 2 seasons ago, Ty. I think she low-key mentioned that to Portia this previous episode. I think. I'm going to have to go and rewatch, but I think that was said after Portia brought Sway around. So I need Drew to just be real with the situation that she's dealing with. And I'm not going to lie, Drew, you're starting to lose me a little bit. Just a little bit. Just because it's just like everything feels a little fake and contrived, however you pronounce that word. I don't know. SAT prep words, you know how that goes. But I'm starting to feel like a lot of like your drama is made up. Like, not for nothing, this whole divorce that's going on, I don't know what you and that man are doing. Like, I don't know if y'all both are trying to prove points to each other, but all of this mess is just messy for the kids. And somebody peeped it from last season when Drew's mother said, your kids are acting differently. That should have been a red flag right there. So for the news to come out that she wasn't taking them kids to school and that now she needs to leave the premises, now she needs to leave the premises. And she's ranting and raving. Well, this is all in the tabloids now. This isn't on the show. But apparently she has to move out from the house due to her not taking her kids to school. There's neglect going on and stuff like that, allegedly. So I don't know what's going on, this Black storyline. It's just a disconnect. I would rather see Drew with her kids, making sure her household is together, not chasing men and women around Atlanta. It's just not a good look to me. It really isn't. I don't know. Drew, I'm going to give you until the mid-season to get it together. From what I'm seeing, I'm not going to lie. From what I'm seeing, Drew, I might not like you this season. I love you, Drew. I really do love you as a person, Drew, but you might be my villain this season. It looks like you're picking up the crown from, Kenya. I don't know, but just knowing what's gonna happen down the road with Drew and K Michelle, I've been feeling like I'm more on K Michelle's side because Drew is speaking from places of delusion, in my opinion, when it comes to K Michelle. So we're going to see where that goes. Cynthia was also there. Cynthia, I like Cynthia as a friend. Cynthia plays a very good friend role. I like when she's a friend on, what was she on? Was she on Beverly Hills? I like when she was a friend on Beverly Hills. I like when she's a friend on Atlanta. I like that she's someone that keeps the story going. She's the one that will just sit there and ghost produce. Okay, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about that? Okay, well, y'all need to fix this. I feel like she's given that veteran housewife knowledge that the girls really do need to make a successful franchise, to make a successful franchise work. Phaedra. Period. In the words of K Michelle, what does Phaedra do besides sit and giggle? Did Phaedra give us anything this episode? And Kelly wasn't there either. Like, I'm looking through right now. I don't think Phaedra gave us anything this episode. And that be my thing about Phaedra. Phaedra was an amazing housewife. I'm never going to take that from her. Season 5 through season 9 was gold for her. But I will say, anything outside of that, Phaedra's very boring. Phaedra really doesn't give much story. She'll give like a little shady southern read here and there, but Phaedra's boring, and she's been boring since she's come back to Bravo. And I'm scared. Let me just say, I am scared. I don't want y'all to do that to Nene. I don't want y'all to do that to Nene. She's going to be a different person. It might not be the same Nene that you have grown to know and love. So that might be the reality of what we get when Nene decides to return to Atlanta. So we will see. Phaedra's boring me, but I mean, she's not doing anything to bother me. So I'm like, I guess she could float around until, Nene comes back next season. So we just shall see where that goes. But all in all, we are having an amazing season. This is an amazing season so far. I'm intrigued. I like the players on the show. I'm giving the girls a chance. I really want them to really thrive and succeed. And yeah, not for nothing. I'll see y'all next week with more. And like, comment, subscribe, and get into Divide and Kiki when we drop an episode. So see y'all next week, okay?